Hello everyone, hope we're all doing fine. This is Paul from the APN Academy. The goal of every trader is to be profitable, and for you to be profitable, you have to be able to identify high probability setups. It's from the high probability setups that you can be able to make profits from, right? And also, making profits is not enough, but you have to make the profits consistently, right? So if you've been following us, you know our approach is top-down analysis, whereby we have to look at the market or the setups from different dynamics, whereby we have to see different timeframes and get our opinions from there before we make a final decision. That's exactly what we're going to be doing here. Today, we're not looking at the USD pairs. We have looked at them very many times and week in, week out. So today, let's change a bit. Let's look at some JPY pairs so that we can make decision. Also, we've spoken about JPY in the past, especially GBPJPY, and this was our target. You can see it has been achieved, but that's not the end of the road. Let's try to do a fresh breakdown. Let me just clear that. So as usual, if you're a trader, you need to have 3 time frames. One time frame for the direction, the second time frame for your structure, and the third one for your entry. The fourth one is not a must. That is the refinery time frame. You can have it or not, right? But if you have it, it's also okay. So we normally use monthly for our direction, and then weekly for the swing structure, and then daily for the intraday structure. So you choose one between weekly and daily, but you look at both of them to see if they are speaking the same thing, right? So let's start from the monthly time frame on GBPJPY. So if you look at the monthly time frame, we've spoken about GBPJPY a couple of times, and you can clearly see that currently we are closing above this high that the market had printed, right? So if the month closes like this with a very good candle, we have a few days to close of the month, and we shall expect a small pullback before we can continue. So that's our direction. When it closes above a small pullback, then we can continue, right? Because you can clearly see the market is strongly on an uptrend. This is a monthly direction where we get our direction from. So when you go down to the weekly time frame, we spoke about GBPJPY when it was still down, and then also this was once our target, and now currently we are above it. So we can just mark this area here. Also, weekly is saying that this area here needs to be tested. Of course, the price tapped into it, but this is not a convincing test. So there's a high probability or chance that the market may want to come back into this area. But also we have a hidden structure here. Do not forget that. We shall see it in the intraday time frame if it confirms that there's something here. This is a structure, a hidden one, right? But all in all, this level is being confirmed by the weekly time frame. Just like monthly, I'll say that this level, if the month closes above, we need the market test here. But like I've said, we have a hidden structure here. Sometimes the hidden structures tend to not allow price to reach down. Rather, they pull into them, then they continue. So you have to be aware about them, right? So monthly, weekly, so far speaking, the same thing. Now let's check the daily time frame. Now, when you come to the daily time frame, I know we see that we have a retest here, which we spoke about a couple of weeks back. But also in the process of giving us that retest, we have created this high and an impulse. Why do I say this is an impulse? Because we have broken one turning point. We have broken also the second turning point, making this an impulse. Now, I think you can see the reason why I'm saying that sometimes there's a hidden structure here. Now, some of you also trade some imbalances. We have one here. So this, all that, when you put all these aspects together, they're creating that hidden structure that I've told you about in the weekly time frame. So all the 3 time frames are communicating the same thing. We expect some pullback. So I'll just bring my fib here and mark it here. So you can mark this area here, and then you observe how price behaves when it comes here before we can continue higher. So we have 2 levels. We have this area here that the market may pull back into before continuing, or if it breaks here on a retest, wait for it to come here, then we can continue higher with it. So these are the 2 levels that we do have, right? So watch both of them and utilize them. But this is just a structure time frame. Now that we identified levels, we are going to be taking trades at. Please, I'm begging you, in the name of Allah, in the name of Jesus, in the name of whoever you believe in, right? Please, if the market doesn't touch the area you've marked in this structure, in your structure time frame, ours we're using monthly for direction, weekly for the swing structure, and daily for intraday and short-term trading, right? If it doesn't touch in the area you've marked, please leave it. Don't force. Let your money wait for the next opportunity. It's better to have money ready than blow before the next opportunity comes to you, right? So let's check one of our entry time frames and we observe. So in one of the entry time frames, you can clearly see that our box here is giving us like some vibes of false breakout. So we shall need the market to come and give us some kind of test here. Then we can observe how the market has been approaching. When it changes the trend, then we can take our buy. If it is so aggressive, then the next opportunity we shall be observing the push, how it came into this area here before we can continue looking for the continuation moves upwards, right? So if you're experienced, you can decide to look for scalping opportunities here, which I don't recommend if you're just starting out, right? But if you're just starting out and you've not mastered the rules properly, wait for continuations, either in this area or in this area. So those who trade GBPJPY, you can compare it with your analysis and utilize it. Let's go to another JPY pair, which I see may do well, is CADJPY. We've also spoken about it in the past. Now, the analysis of this one is still the same. I'm just going to clear everything so that we redo it afresh. You can see we're already having that pullback. Let's start from the directional time frame. Still pretty much the same, right? So we wanted the price to close, or the month to close above here, which currently we're also seeing it's happening. Then we'll go down to the weekly time frame. What do we observe? In a weekly time frame, we do observe a price that closed above here, but didn't give us a deep retest. So we're expecting that retest to happen. You can see this is also an improper test. So at least the market should come back to give us that test before we can continue, right? So that's what we are seeing. Weekly, monthly communicating the same so far. But monthly, remember, we need it to close above. It shouldn't close within this area. If it closes within this area, it's not good, right? So weekly and monthly communicating the same thing. Let's check the short-term structures. Now in the short-term structure, we do have a market that attempted to come and retest. You can see we broke these levels, but we didn't touch this level here. We didn't give a stretch up inside here, right? And also, you can see that the market gave us another turning point here, right? So if you can mark it here, just to be aware that we have a region here that could hinder price movement further down. So this area here, if the price can change structure from here, then you can look for that. But the one we're interested in is this one. If price can break below you on the retest, those who are experienced, you can look for short-term trades here, a few pips, right? Between 20 to 30. But if you're not experienced, wait for the market to change trend either in this box and push higher, or the best alternative is for you to come lower. Remember, we as traders, we're looking for the best buying prices, which is the price that is very low, right? So this is the lowest price. It's lower than this one, of course. Some of you call it discount and the rest, right? So that's what we're looking out for. Let's check our entry time frame, which is H4. What does it say? Now, H4 has not yet become bearish to be able to give us that. It's a bit moving. It's making highs, but not clearly. So some of you will say that we have a pattern here. So, but all in all, we want the market to break here on a retest, weak retest, right? Experienced traders, you can take your sell up to this level. But if they don't break and changes trend still, you'll be able to look out for change of trend and take the trade. But personally, I'm interested in the price coming back inside here, because all the time frames will be aligning, starting from the direction time frame, the swing structure, and also the intraday, right? So that's what we do have on CADJPY. Those who trade it, you can also compare to your analysis, right? And another thing is always adjust your slabs. Do not leave your slabs to be as big as this, right? You can always adjust your slabs to match the time frame that you would like to use. For example, here I can adjust it to this so that I'm only focusing on these highs that were broken here in the daily time frame. You can see these highs here that we broke, right? So you can adjust it just to match those highs. You can see these highs there. So the slab is not covering very many candlesticks. It normally reduces your accuracy and also affects your risk-reward ratio. Now, let's look at another one, which is, you can look at AUDJPY, but now let's a bit change. Let's take a look at the DXY for those who are trading the dollar, and then you can compare. So this is what I want to see on the dollar, but let's just do it together, right? It's what I see on the dollar. I've been speaking about it for some time, but let's try to just do a breakdown together. Now, we did have a market breaking this high here. We came back and tested. But when the market broke above this level, we never came back to test it. We just tested it we just tested it. Let me just adjust it properly. It was this high here. We just tested it last week, right? So after here, we expect the market to continue, but we do have a threat here. That's why I say this week, let's look at something different. So we do have a market that created a low, lower high, low, lower high, right? So this is a resistance and this is a support. So the market is trapped here. We have to wait for it to either break below or to break up before we can start looking at USD pairs. These ones we shall make updates on them. So make sure you're always following up the index of the currency that you're trading. If you're trading JPY, Euro, the dollar is DXY, the pound is the GXY, the Euro is EXY, like that. For CAD is CXY. You can look at all of them, right? And determine the strength of those different currencies. So for those who are trading the dollar, you can follow us on our social medias in the description. Only use the links in the description. We shall be updating the breakdown there. You can also watch the breakdowns of last week, how our breakdowns moved, and then you can be able to learn a thing or two out of them, right? We implement exactly how we trade, right? If you really put in time and you follow exactly what we are showing you here, there's no need that you should be coming to us that you need mentorship or something like that, right? You just need to put in the time, practice what we are showing you. And what we're showing you can apply to any security that you want to trade, cryptocurrencies, stocks, forex, commodities, and other metals, right? So that is it. We shall keep you posted on the USD pairs. Have a great week ahead.